The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey everyone, this is Bethany and Melissa. We just wanted to let y'all know we're going to give about 2 more minutes to give any latecomers an opportunity to hop on. So just sit tight and get comfortable, and we will get started in just a moment. All right, everyone, here we go. So we are so excited to bring you the next managers webinar. Melissa and I were probably the most excited about this topic. So for those of y'all that have not joined us on one of these yet, I'm Bethany. I'm the Senior Operations Manager for Hand & Stone.
And I'm Melissa, Director of Operations. We're so excited to introduce to you this next topic, mastering member retention. Let's see it again.
I know. So with the new year, we have a unique opportunity to focus on growing the member base by mastering member retention and decreasing the number of terminations we have. So sometimes we become too focused on the number of signups we get in a period of time rather than how many we net gain after terminations take place. So it sometimes takes one of us ops managers to point out during a field visit that terminations can cancel out new membership sales if we're not careful.
Perfectly said, Bethany. And just like with any relationship, maintenance is key. And keeping these clients happy is the only way to retain them. I mean, we shouldn't roll out the red carpet for a new prospect and then the next month after they signed up for a membership say, hey, I got you all checked in, you can have a seat. After they signed up. It's not exactly that warm welcome.
Oh my gosh, no, it's not. So we wanted to show some examples of how important it is to do just that. So we've got two examples of two spas that sold about the same number of memberships. So essentially, both spas paid the same commission for new sales, but one spa had considerably higher terminations. So with the same number of sales but higher terminations, you can see Spa A pays a considerably higher amount in commission for every member they manage to net gain.
And using that equation below on the screen there, we have a spa that sold 261 memberships, but only gained 10 due to the number of terminations. That's about $261 a member. They will need at least 5 EFTs processed just to make this money back before they can redeem them.
Yeah, that's a huge number. So it's much better to keep your members than it is to just convert new ones.
Right. It's a wild equation when you actually break it down.
I know.
So did you know when members cancel their membership, they receive a SMG survey specifically digging into what we could have done better? Check out these cancellation reasons, guys. Nearly half of the reasons given were in our power to control.
Oh my gosh. And can you believe that out of all of these, so since August 2018, there were 3,324 surveys collected. So just within the past 5 months of starting this survey, we have more than enough results to deem this information valuable. So when they were sent this, members were invited to select all reasons that apply. So with this knowledge, we can see how many members we could have saved with a different approach at some point during their membership. So that is why we're hosting this webinar, so we can dive deeper into the best practices of member retention and how we can up our game in this area.
So last week's Ops Update shared the 2018 attrition analysis for the chain, and we've improved in nearly every cohort, which is fantastic. It does show us there are effective ways to retain our members, and that's what we'll share today. So let's take a moment to congratulate these spas. Each of these spas shown here had the lowest attrition in their cohort. Great job, guys.
There you go, guys. All right, so knowing now with the hidden cost of member attrition, how important member retention is, there are two different ways to approach it. There's both proactive and reactive. So with proactive, we've identified members at risk and proactive approaches to show them how valued they are. And with reactive, that termination request is not the end. So we still have an opportunity to save these members with the right termination process and post-termination approaches.
And I'm sure you'll all agree, as managers, a proactive approach is always preferred.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So the first thing that we'll touch on is members at risk. We can usually identify them by the fact that we're not seeing or hearing much from these members, or if we are, it's not good things, and they become members of the watch list.
So there are several different kinds of members at risk. Essentially, these are all members who are disengaged in one way or another with their lifestyle program, and they're in danger of cancellation, and we don't want that.
Nope, not at all.
So the ghost, who are they? This is a member you infrequently see in the spa. They may have built up packages, or they might be suspended. If they are, they're haunting your active member account. These members have completely forgotten the value of the lifestyle program, and we have to remind them. These are also the members that are not in every month. They'll tell you they don't have enough time, they're out of town, but the reality is they don't find this important enough to fit into their schedule like some of our other members.
Yep.
They joined for a reason, and we need to remind them of that.
So, to your point, how do we bring them back? One thing I really like is daily EFT calls. A lot of spas do these for, and they give special attention to members that have built up packages. So this is a great opportunity to try to book a spa day, but do not panic your members by calling them up and telling them they have 20 packages and do they want to use them? No. That would make the most of us panic a bit. So just offer to book a spa day. Just say that their packages will cover it. Or if you're in a particularly busy spa, offer to book multiple appointments for them. It's not always with these ones that they don't have enough time. Sometimes they just forget that they have a membership. So, we're thinking the super busy business person, the stay-at-home moms. These are the people that have a lot of other things going on, and it just slips their mind.
Right. And their account could be suspended. In the past, we have suggested that we only contact a suspended member on their EFT hit date. But in the recent months, we have found how successful it is to reach out a couple times in the first week when they initially suspend. We actually shared a success story recently on this in a weekly update a few weeks ago. The EFT control panel is another underutilized feature to keep up with suspends. Keep in mind, you do get charged every time you try to process a credit card, so definitely don't make this a daily task, but weekly is a safe bet. Fridays are usually good because most people get paid on Fridays. The 1st and the 15th of the month are also good target dates. And if they don't respond after 3 months and we've had no interaction, it's safe to immediately cancel them. One, so we're not inflating our member count. And 2, we're not paying excess storage fees for someone that's not paying a monthly membership due.
Right. And some spas have been really successful reaching out via texting to communicate with suspended members. We technically cannot endorse this process from a corporate standpoint since we don't have clients' permission to text them, but we have heard this has been successful for many spas.
So the clueless members. So these members essentially don't know or even remember a lot of their member benefits. They likely don't have an email on file, so they aren't aware of our member promotions. They don't know what their points get them. They haven't tried our new services and probably haven't really received much beyond a Swedish massage sometimes.
Yep.
And they don't understand why they should either. So there's much to be gained from using the educate and ask approach with this type of client.
Yep. And if you don't know what this is, stay tuned. You are about to find out.
So the non-committed. This member hasn't found a service provider they like and request every month. They're not loyal to anyone specifically. They likely bounce back and forth between service providers or maybe even between a massage and a facial.
Right. And these ones too, they're not always going to speak up. So these are going to be the quote unquote just fine clients. They're going to be your number 4s on SMG. So don't let that just satisfied fool you. If they're not highly satisfied, things could be better. They're not going to pre-book typically. Spa associates, these will be the ones where you'll hear your spa associates ask at checkout, how was everything? And I mean, how often do we hear it was fine or it was okay? And your spa associate immediately continues on with the checkout. These aren't the obvious ones, and we kind of have to search them out. And for us managers, when we hear okay or good, we hear not perfect, not good enough. But to the untrained ear of our spa associates, it's perfectly fine, and they could miss this subtle cue. Just okay is not good enough.
Right. And these people tend to actually forget they have a membership, usually the frozen members.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, keep these frozen clients on the daily EFT call list and get them on the schedule. So often I see we just skip over that first section of frozen members. We want to get them re-engaged.
Mm-hmm.
More than likely, they wanted to cancel when they decided to freeze. So if we don't communicate with them until they're about to unfreeze, they're going to want to cancel again.
Yes.
So implement a freeze fee, as many spas have done. It helps to remind members they have a membership rather than thinking they canceled. Because how many of you out there have had that client call back after their first active month to say they thought they canceled, but they got charged?
Mm-hmm.
Way too often if you don't have a freeze fee.
Yep. And honestly, if you're a spa that hasn't implemented this yet, we strongly encourage you to speak to your owner about adapting it. It can be as little as $5 to $10.
Absolutely.
The brokenhearted. Okay, so if we're being honest, and as much as we hate to admit it, most clients are not loyal to a brand. They're loyal to their favorite massage therapist or their favorite esthetician. And you may think our brokenhearted members fall under dissatisfied, but they're actually their own category.
And you may also feel like this is more reactive, but we can be proactive about this, though. Do you know about our client selection tool? It's a feature in Millennium that's often forgotten, but will allow you to pull a report of service providers' requests by client name. So essentially, you can reach out to these clients before they call to book and work to schedule them with another therapist that will allow them. It's absolutely crucial that we do this before the client calls on their own, though. Then we have to now tell them that the therapist is no longer with us, and it's a much more uncomfortable conversation than being proactive.
Exactly. And remember, a lot of the surveys that we were talking about too, these cancellation surveys, told us that our members left because they lost their favorite service provider or they could never get in with them. So it's important to be comfortable offering a backup service provider and when they can't get in with their preferred therapist or esthetician. Don't be afraid to use the opinion of their current service provider. This goes a very long way. We can make a recommendation on behalf of their preferred therapist or esthetician. It can be something as easy as, Judy knows her schedule is a little limited, but she also recommends Kathy when you can't get in with her. So now that we have identified our members at risk on our watch list, we can take a proactive approach.
So we mentioned the educate and ask earlier with our clueless members. You want to educate them on why they should do something and then ask them to. The order is crucial because if you ask the question first, they're immediately going to respond without considering your why. Think back to when you wanted something from your parents, you'd provide them this elaborate story of why you needed something before you asked for it.
I've done that once or twice.
Yeah, and you're more likely to get a yes if you lead with the why before that call to action. We don't want this person considering their answer to the question before they even know why they should. For example, if you lead with referencing the rewards program and then tell me what I have to do to earn the points, I'll be more likely to do as you ask. So leading with, let's get you your 50 member rewards points by booking your next appointment. How does 4 weeks out sound?
Love it. So another really great resource to use for the Educate and Ask also is the AQ022. So for our estheticians, this is a report that helps them to customize the member services and increase their upgrade. So if you're a manager who isn't doing this yet, you're missing the boat a bit. This has been quoted already as a total game changer and has been mentioned in several weekly spotlights, including as recently as the one on December 18th, where the estheticians in that spa not only increased their average aesthetics ticket, but they did so by tripling their upgrades. Can you believe that? That's a huge jump.
Fantastic. So we would like to welcome Tiffany to the line. She started as a spa associate back in 2012 and is now the assistant manager in Bee Cave, Texas. She's worked with her team to really go above and beyond to consistently help members feel valued and really just appreciated. They have a fantastic group of ladies that provide some ultimate customer service. And we wanted to invite her on to share some of her best practices and tips. Tiffany, do we have you on the line?
Hi, everyone.
Welcome, Tiffany. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So how do you make your members feel special during the initial greeting process?
Well, since I've been there since pretty much day one, I really know the customers and greet them in a professional manner and know, their everyday needs. So pretty much I just take them, take as much of the members. I kind of get to know their every detail, what they prefer for water, what their aroma scent that they might prefer is. I really recognize them by their face. I greet them by name every time they walk in, hi, Bob, how are you doing? I kind of get to know a little something about them personally from just talking previous times. I really like to build a friendship and make them feel at home in the spa.
I love that y'all are really prioritizing the connection with members too. And it's like you said, it's as easy as just recognizing them by name. That goes really far with them. Yeah. So what tools do you and your team use to connect with your members?
Every hour we kind of have a game plan. I like to call it my game plan. So what we do is we really look into their history. We see what maybe they've done before. Maybe they want to try again. We really, really speak to the history. So I make sure everyone has, an upgrade they might want to try or suggest. We always, just pick our favorite enhancement. Sometimes I'll just be oh, it's cold outside. Let's just all do Himalayan today or something. So we kind of just speak to the weather as well. We really ask them do you guys want to treat yourself today? Would you like to do this enhancement?
I think the magic word right there is treat yourself. I think that's such a great way to lead with the why of your enhancement request instead of just asking them, do you want to add X, Y, and Z? Kind of giving them permission to treat themselves. That's fantastic. What expectations do you set for your spa associates and your service provider when working with members?
We expect all of the staff to really treat our members like family, make them feel like they belong in the spa, that we're, welcoming them. We make sure that when the SA or the MT come to grab them, we really you're in great hands today. So and so will help you. We like to make sure we customize, let them know that they can customize their experience today and make it their own. That this is a full spa experience and we want to treat you. Let us know however we can help. Much it.
I want to take a second to just kind of highlight the one thing that you said about doing that introduction for the service providers from the spa associate. I think that goes so far and it's so often forgotten.
Yeah, sometimes we get a little busy, but I'm just like, Bob, you're in great hands. You're going to be with, Michelle today, or really enjoy. And, I kind of just make them feel special. You're with this person. I know I'm leaving you, but now you're with this person. So hopefully enjoy everything.
That handoff is key too. So how do you work all this into your training, both for new spa associates and as ongoing coaching?
Our training is really centered on the importance of our memberships and retaining those members, rather than focusing simply on just the new clients and the new membership pitch. We really relate every aspect to the spa, that we want to retain all of our members. We want to, for example, even taking out the trash is an importance of maintaining the spa, and not just the pitch. Not everything's just about the pitch. We want to maintain all of those members as well.
Right, and nobody wants a messy spa. We want to impress our existing members and our potential new members with our prospects. So it's a good point.
Right.
So you keep your members engaged. We want to keep them active. We want to avoid them from terminating. How are we proactive about that?
Ensuring that the members are using their member benefits to their full potential is a key in long-lasting memberships, I think. Mainly, we want to ensure that they don't fall too far behind on their packages, that they know how to use their benefits, what kind of discounts they're getting, what reward points they're earning. We ask to, we kind of just speak to their certain needs, make sure that we can, educate them on how to request someone or any other questions they might have. When booking over the phone, we immediately look up the member and kind of see who they've been with, or how many packages they might have. Always ask for spa days, upgrades. We really just encourage them to stay caught up on their packages. Maybe for, if it's hot outside, adding cold stone face massage, or trying to do the upgrades within the phone call as well, just helping them to know all of their benefits.
That is so important, because there's so many that we tell them when we sell them the membership, that the packages roll over, or they can go to any Hand and Stone, or they get rewards points. But so often, if they don't hear that regularly, they forget it. And right. So many of those cancellation reasons that we were talking about were just because we didn't educate somebody. So that is such a good point.
Yes. Well, instead of just being oh, do you just want to do the regular 50-minute massage? We're why don't you treat yourself to the hot stone? It really helps open up the muscles. I know you said your neck hurt on the phone, or something like that. So we kind of just speak to their needs in that moment as well.
Oh, I love it. That's fantastic. And all of these tips that you shared were I love your attention to connections, to really educating your members and encouraging them to try something new. This is exactly why we asked you on, and these are some fantastic tips. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Of
Thanks,
course.
Tiffany. So kind of stemming off what Tiffany was referencing about trying to get the members to use additional packages and not get behind on those because they'll look at their membership and wonder if there's value. So if you don't have the package combination guide at the front desk for the spa associates, let's get these printed. This is a great tool for the spa associates to quickly see how we can combine packages besides just a massage or facial and make it a little more exciting for them.
Yes, and I love when I hear spas referencing using 3 to 4 packages for a client to treat themselves to a red carpet spa day. It takes it to the next level.
That phrase is amazing.
Yes.
So another tool to kind of take our member check-ins to the next level is the HS 000. Too often we hear spa associates quickly check in a member, something along the lines of, hey, Mary, I got you all checked in. You can have a seat. And they think this is okay because they come so often. But we have to continue to wow them.
Yep, exactly. So, for example, connecting with the client and with a compliment or engagement such as, hi, Mary, I love that sweater. Is it new? And then proceed with the check-in and upgrade offer. So I have you checked in for your 50-minute massage with Heather. I see you've never tried our Himalayan salt stone massage before. Heather is fantastic with the stones. She has time for an 80-minute Himalayan salt stone massage today, and we could use 2 of your packages. How does that sound?
And sometimes we really just have to go the extra mile. Have you ever walked into a business, whether it's a grocery store, the dentist's office, wherever it may be, and walked out so shocked at the fantastic experience you had because one really great employee went that extra mile?
Chick-fil-A.
Right. It's always my pleasure.
Yeah.
This is the type of experience we need to create more often. April over in Davie, Florida, does a fantastic job at providing this type of experience for her members. Hence that gorgeous event tray on the right there. They put that in every room when a client is celebrating something special that they know about.
They've got a note on there with a signature, everything. I love it. And
gorgeous.
Yes, and I think that's really good because going this extra mile for your members doesn't always mean giving away all the freebies. It can be a handwritten note like they've got, recognizing life events of your members. There's some spas like Glen Allen, Virginia, and Comac, New York, that have adapted unique ways to do this, such as Member Mondays and sending a small gift to the top spending members for the year.
So with it being the new year, it's a perfect time to commit to a date for your member appreciation event. Some spas have chose to time it around their anniversary or even slower times of the year, like when kids go back to school in August. But everyone on this webinar should be choosing a date for this type of event. No matter your spa age or member count, it's a crucial piece of member retention to do this just once a year and show your members how much you appreciate them.
Oh my gosh, yes. And you've got to make this a big deal to your members too. So you want to tease the offer about 6 weeks prior, and you're going to want to start communicating via demand force, social media, counter cards, all of that at this 6-week mark. So make this a big deal, exclusive to members only. Hype it up.
So as much as we want our proactive approaches to work for every client, there are going to still be some that want to cancel because something has gone wrong and we are going to need to recover.
Yeah, unfortunately. And as a system, we've learned that most SAs are not confident having the termination conversation and saving the member from canceling. I mean, how many of you have overheard a spa associate offering the freeze right away? They are just not comfortable. And this needs to be managers. This needs to be on your plate. You are more confident. You are more invested. You are more qualified.
Absolutely well said, Bethany. So we call this the new termination process, and air quotes around new. But we use these air quotes because some spas have been doing this way for close to 2 years now. And this new way has the spa associate schedule a call between the member and the manager. They put it on the book so the manager knows the member is expecting them. The manager covers a number of solutions to avoid the cancellation. This has worked so well. Some spas put this in the hands of a designated member account specialist or a few senior spa associate. But the point is these conversations are scheduled and being handled by qualified people that are prepared to find solutions for the members so they don't end up canceling.
Yes, exactly. And what a lot of spas do is they'll utilize Slack or Google Docs or Airtable, a tool like that, to create a terminations channel. So that way you're eliminating the risk of lost sticky notes and ensuring the termination request does successfully get communicated. It's important to have a process that's going to work for you and your team.
And we completely understand that some spas are still on the fence and you haven't switched over to this process. We know it sounds like a huge task to put on your plate, but you, listening right now, are the most capable of being successful with this type of process and conversation. And our next guest speaker actually was in a similar situation, not knowing if she had enough time to make something like this work, but she did and was extremely successful with it.
Yes. So to that point, to that note, we would love to welcome Nicole. She's been a spa manager in Mullica Hill, New Jersey since 2014, and her spa was one of the ones on that earlier slide for having the lowest attrition in their cohort. So, of course, we were so excited to welcome Nicole to our webinar to share some of her best practices. Nicole?
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
Thanks for having me.
Of course, thanks for joining us. So, I know Melissa was talking about how some spas are a little nervous to get this started. There's some apprehensions. Could you share what some of yours were on adopting this new process and what changed your mind?
Yes. So at first I was nervous. I wasn't sure if I was going to have enough time throughout the day. We still have the front desk ask a couple questions. They make sure that they are a member, that they're active. They look up their account. Sometimes it's a quick fix that they can just offer the bi-monthly, which we always try to offer first. But they want to make sure that, they ask the questions that they need to, and then they will book the appointment with me. Once they confirm the information, they tell them, my hours, when they can reach me, and then they book an appointment for me to call them.
That's great. I love that you've empowered your team to kind of ask a few questions and not just say, well, a manager handles that. I can't help you.
Yeah, because it really does. It makes so I don't have so many on my book at a time. They try to save them first, but if they cannot, they still have to go through me for the termination.
Right. So what kind of kinks did you have to work out to allow yourself the time and organization to get this new process adopted successfully?
At first, we were blocking off about a half an hour to an hour in the book for each client. I think they were just doing that so I could see the client, make sure I call them. But every time I turned around, I had a client to call. So we started blocking off 15 minutes per client and tried to put them in the same hour. So we would tell them, Nicole can call you between 12 and 1, and I would have everybody I had to call for the day. That worked out a lot better.
I like that. And it makes sure these conversations really aren't going to take a full hour. So it helps to maximize your time. So I like that you took that and you worked with your team to perfect it. That's great. But of course, I'm sure not everybody picks up right when you call. So what do you do if you're unable to get in touch with some members?
I leave them a message. I always let them know that they do have to speak to me to cancel their membership. They usually call back right away, and if I'm here, I'll take the phone call right away. If not, they have to talk to the front and book another appointment with me.
I like that you kind of have that procedure. You know that there's going to be a few that you can't get back in touch and have that communication with the front. You essentially are waiting for those few people to call back when it does happen. Can you share with us, do you get bonus on things like net gain or EFT revenue and member counts? And essentially, how did this new process help you make that money? Because we know we're saving more by you having hands around this.
Yeah, we definitely have saved a lot of members. Just within the year, we saved over 100 and something more than we did last year. So I get a bonus for every net gain of 100. One time it took me 3 months to net gain 100, so that was really nice. I get a bonus for different goals each year. Like last year I had a bonus, once we hit 1,800 members, and they were very generous with that bonus. So they give me a goal each year and I have to hit that. And the new process of the terminations have helped that as well. I realized it doesn't matter how many members that were, selling, it's how many we're keeping. So that's, more important to me now. Like, a few years ago, I was worried more about how many we're selling, but now I worry about how many we're saving and just keeping.
Yep, agreed. And that the hidden cost of attrition really does highlight that too. It's amazing. We were shocked at how much more spas are spending when they're just focusing on conversion. So I'm glad that you're making that money and that you are retaining your members, and that this new process is that you've implemented it, because it sounds like it's really, really helped you hit some of your goals.
Yeah, it definitely has.
Thank you so much for sharing your tips and for joining us, Nicole. We really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.
Thanks.
So to Nicole's point about how important retention is, it goes beyond that cancellation form. Termination is not the end.
It is not.
So these members have to come back at least one more time, and usually more in this next 90 days, to use their services. So it's important that we wow them. Consider who you're scheduling this client with. We have a therapist or esthetician we are confident would be a great fit for them and potentially set us up for signing them back up.
Yeah, and an important piece of that is each time they come back in, measure their regrets. So ask them if they enjoyed their service, tell them you're happy to see them, you miss them, read their reaction. If they indicate they miss you too or were too sad to cancel, it's not over. And after that 90-day termination period, it is still not over.
Not over, guys.
No. So, look at some of these termination reasons that we got from these surveys. These are appointments that we canceled, poor customer service, not finding the right therapist for them. We could have resolved these prior to canceling just through education and a little attention. We could have saved so many members, and this fact is staggering.
And as we shared in the beginning of the webinar today, you can utilize that SMG cancellation survey filter in the dashboard to retrieve these responses for your individual spa to see where you can pick up the game a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
There's also the member benefits demand force template, which can be used to reach out to canceled members to kind of put that little bird in the ear to remind them what they are missing with the membership as well.
Yes.
This is a nice tool.
I love this one. A lot of people forget it. So this has been a lot of information. We got a lot of really, really good tips from both of our guest speakers, and we've gotten a few questions that have come in while we've been hosting. So we wanted to take a second to address some of those now. So let's go ahead and let's take a peek. What do we have?
We got some questions about sharing some of the stats in the beginning. We will send out this recording and the slides in Monday's weekly directive next week. It'll also be uploaded to LMS sometime by tomorrow, and we usually share to the manager's Facebook page as well.
Yes. Let's see. Ooh, we've got, we have a good question about what we recommend saying to a member during an EFT call when they ask how many packages they have. So what you want to do is try to be proactive about this, and when you call them and let them know that they have a few packages, what you want to do is paint that picture of that red carpet spa day that you can book for them. So you've got them thinking more about the spa day that they're going to treat themselves to, and they're not worried about the number of packages that they have. Of course, if they ask, we're not going to hide that from them, but we want them thinking about what they can use with these rather than stressing about how many they've got built up. We want them to know it's not an issue to catch up.
Perfect. We're getting a few questions too about reports that show specific requests for service providers. That's going to be the client selection report. If you're not familiar with it, you can take a look at it in the marketing guide on the intranet. You can play with a lot of different filters. You actually can use that for canceled members as well. We got that question. And you can filter in their email or their address if you want to mail or email something specific to them.
Exactly. Let's see. We got some questions about the number of members that both Tiffany's and Nicole's spas have. If you have the BI tool, you should be able to pull this right on there. No problem. All right. So we had some really, really good questions on here. If there's any that we didn't get an opportunity to answer, because we know the top of the hour is coming up for you managers out there, and you've got to check on your teams at the front desk. If there's any questions we didn't get to, feel free to shoot Melissa or I an email, and we are absolutely happy to answer those for you. So we do have a quick announcement. It's bittersweet. I'm so excited. I'm sure you all will be too. But it's also a little sad. So Melissa has been co-hosting these webinars with me, and we've been doing this for y'all for just shy of a year now, since April, and it's been such an amazing journey having all of you tune in and listen and give us feedback. And Melissa has been called to bigger, amazing things. So with that, while we are so sad to say goodbye to Melissa, we are also excited to welcome Lauren on as the new co-host for our monthly managers webinars. You probably recognize her from the webinar that she hosted with Megan for First Year Spas for gift cards in Q4. She's got over 5 years experience in the Hand & Stone system, and we're really excited to welcome her on as a co-host with us. So we are going to miss you, Melissa, but Lauren and I will honor your memory and continue hosting.
You guys are in great hands with Lauren. She is a webinar master.
Okay, so to that point, we've got our next webinar coming up on February 26th, so mark your calendars. Tuesday, the 26th at 11:15, and it's going to be chock full of tips from some of the top performing spas in the system. So we are so excited to host that webinar for you and connect with y'all in another couple of weeks. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Have a great week, guys.
Bye.